My name is Ruth Marcus. I actually have two hats at the Washington Post. I'm the deputy editor of the editorial page, so I oversee the signed opinion content, and I'm a columnist. It's been a week since the election, and there's been a lot of emotion and a lot of activity going on since the election, but I think the main activity among members of my profession has been a kind of mass self-flagellation, which boils down to the question, how did we get this so wrong? How did we accidentally mislead ourselves and, as a consequence, mislead and misinformed our readers and our viewers about what the outcome of the election was going to be? There's a lot of different answers to that question. Some are more defensive than others. But the defensive part is, well, we weren't all that wrong, except for the outcome. Everything was within the margin of error. All of these states were particularly close. The less defensive answer is, wow, we just didn't really consider the possibility that we weren't thinking about the right audience, that there were more white voters out there than we thought there were, that we weren't really hearing people correctly when they started telling us how angry and unhappy and frustrated they were with Washington. And so I think it's a good lesson in our own limitations and the limitations of polls. I kind of do also want to say at the same time that while I've been critical of the media in the course of this election, I think there's a lot of ways in which we did a really good job. There was really excellent reporting, investigative reporting by my newspaper, which I'm really proud of, by other newspapers about both candidates. I think a lot of columnists have looked at America in this election and said, wow, I don't understand what it is that's going on out there. We use the word anger a lot, but I actually don't think it's anger as much as anxiety and frustration. It's anxiety about not just your own economic circumstance, but the economic circumstance of your kids, and a lack of faith that they're going to have as good a life as you do, even if your life may seem a little bit precarious. And it's also frustration with the system in Washington. And I think all of us have to question whether we're spending too much time literally inside that beltway, and whether we should be spending more time talking to actual voters ourselves, knocking on doors the way my late colleague David Broder taught us to, not just kind of looking at polls and data analytics, but actually hearing the voices of people themselves. At bottom, elections are or should be about issues of substance. What is the candidate's vision of America's role in the world? What is the candidate's vision of how you could really make America great again? What are the specific issue data points and specifics that are part of that? We were so busy focusing on the bright, shiny object comment of the day that we forgot to ask that question. What should have been happening all along, which was serious reporters asking the candidates who would be president of the United States serious questions about their policy views, not just, what do you think about this latest outrageous comment? Eventually, we kind of did our jobs, but there's going to be a lot of rethinking about whether we did it well enough.